It's NFL Week 9, and the excitement among fantasy football managers is palpable. The season has reached its midpoint, making this week crucial for those vying for a playoff position. The week kicks off with focus on a key matchup involving a star running back and a struggling quarterback with injured receivers. Storylines abound, setting up a week full of potential surprises. As the Houston Texans face the New York Jets, key injuries trouble the Texans lineup with Stephon Diggs out for the year. Meanwhile, Allen Lazard remains sidelined for the Jets. The focus shifts to Joe Mixon, who remains a strong start due to his consistency on the field despite the Texans' struggles. Will Mixon rise again? Join the journey here at SportBytes AI. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop. Sunday's matchup includes a critical NFC North clash. It features two dynamic offenses poised to deliver. However, the potential absence of either team's starting quarterback adds a significant layer to their showdown. As excitement builds, analysts predict big plays, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. With the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders, two offenses with big play capability set the stage. Both teams aim to exploit defensive weaknesses, hoping to rack up large fantasy points. Analysts anticipate an offensive spectacle as these teams square off in a decisive battle. Join the journey here at SportBytes AI. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop. Monday Night Football concludes with an unexpected quarterback hoping to maintain a winning streak against reigning champions. Despite a makeshift receiving core, this new star aims to seize the spotlight, garnering respect and enthusiasm from fans who love underdog stories. In each game, decisions loom large for fantasy managers. Not only do star players promise big scores, but unexpected heroes could emerge and change the course of fantasy matchups. Wise choices could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The stakes have never been higher. As injuries plague the Texans' wide receiver lineup, stats highlight just how dependent they were on Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins. These players accounted for nearly half of the team's receptions this season. With this void, Mixon becomes even more critical, searching for openings against the Jets' defense. The focus shifts to the Dallas Cowboys at Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins, whose recent performances have been stellar, prepares to face Dallas, who struggles against quarterbacks. Fantasy players bank on Cousins continuing his form, offering hope to managers needing a win. With running back issues, Dallas' Rico Dowdle needs to impress, but faces a Falcons defense ranked at a middling 20th place. Tyler Allgeier stands as Atlanta's potential game-changer, expected to exploit Dallas' vulnerabilities. Fans eagerly await whether these matchups live up to expectations. Scene 10. As season analyses unearth trends, conversations among fantasy pundits reveal that Atlanta's success often lies in its ground game. Dallas, struggling in rushing yards, faces scrutiny as prediction models offer varied outcomes. Numbers paint a vivid story of disparities on the field. Scene 11. Denver Broncos' Courtland Sutton stands out against Baltimore Ravens, the league leaders in poor pass defense. Sutton, alongside a Broncos team gaining momentum, looks to capitalize on these opportunities, soaring high as the fantasy wide receiver to beat this week. Scene 12. Analysts question Javonte Williams' effectiveness after last week's underwhelming performance. Facing the Ravens' stingy run defense, fans speculate whether this matchup will see any breakthrough or if defeat looms inevitable, challenging his fantasy stock. Scene 13. Miami Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills sees James Cook, riding high after a career game, aiming to maintain his performance against a Miami defense plagued by inconsistencies. Cook's rise represents hope for fantasy rosters eager for secure point gains each week. Scene 14. Despite Tua Tagovailoa's return, Miami's Jalen Waddle confronts the formidable Bills defense. Fantasy managers tread lightly, wary of Waddle's swinging stats through the weeks. Will he overcome the odds, or will defensive prowess reign supreme? Scene 15. With Raheem Mostert seeking to redefine his season's trajectory, hopes rise among Dolphins fans. The Bills' defense provides a tough challenge, yet fantasy managers cautiously eye Mostert as a sleeper set to potentially exceed projections. Scene 16. In New Orleans, the Saints grapple with injuries yet eye a potential Derek Carr return. Carolina Panthers' Chuba Hubbard prepares to exploit defensive lapses. If Saints quarterback issues prevail, defensive prowess fluctuates, shaping the game's dynamics. Scene 17. Without Deontay Johnson, Carolina's Xavier Legette steps into a demanding role against Marshawn Lattimore. This matchup tests both rookie resilience and defensive strategy, enticing audiences eager for fierce wide receiver cornerback showdowns. Scene 18. Las Vegas Raiders eye Cincinnati Bengals, contemplating Brock Bowers as a key target against the Bengals' loose tight end coverage. As quarterback inconsistencies linger, Raiders seek strategy amidst paradigm shifts in gameplay execution against a known rival. Scene 19. Raiders' Alexander Mattison may face game flow disadvantages, underscoring limitations of his fantasy value. While prescribed tactics focus on aerial combatants, defensive shortcomings draw attention of eager onlookers anticipating intensity and form. Scene 20. From Injury Report Insights, Chargers' passing game changes momentum against the Browns. Jameis Winston's arm lengthens opportunities as Cleveland remains defensively loose, inviting Charger receivers to increase their fantasy payouts dramatically. Scene 21. New York Giants' Malik Neighbors envisions end-zone vistas against the Commanders. Despite lulls, fantasy visions hinge on whether Neighbors reignites receiver form amidst the tactical web New York devises to extract value from impending confrontation. Scene 22. The Patriots vs. Titans game turns heads as Tony Pollard of Tennessee stands pivotal against New England's charitable run defense. As doubts swirl, fantasy dynamics hinge on Pollard's footing while cautioning minds against fast-paced predictions. Scene 23. Analysts review the Patriots' defensive exploits. Facing the Titans' variable offense, strategy materials emerge underscoring factors obscuring New England's sporadic defensive finishing. Strategic execution is paramount to managing game script. Scene 24. Arizona Cardinals hope to suppress Chicago Bears' DeAndre Swift, while Bears hope for Caleb Williams' aerial improvement. Game predictions speculate incompleteness, highlighting defensive plotlines emerging from past contest narratives. Scene 25. Jags welcome Tank Bigsby amid struggles against the Eagles. As Jacksonville corrects direction, observers scrutinize defensive alignments against Philadelphia's surging pace. Fantasy managers weigh factors shaping runtime with Eagles ahead. Scene 26. The battle for NFC North sees Green Bay Packers' pursuit hindered by injury woes. Packers experiment with eventual workloads managed amidst routing contest as fantasy parameters flex across opposition, led by Lions' strength through air.